Hi, and welcome to the Sassy Mirth podcast, where we dive into the most controversial topics in the equestrian world.
We give our unfiltered opinions and say the things that others won't.
With 4 hosts from different backgrounds, we bring a mix of perspectives, experiences, and even a few debates.
So saddle up, it's going to be a fun one.
Hi, welcome to the Sassy Mirth podcast, guys. This is episode 3. I'm Amy.
I'm Ellie.
And I'm Robin.
And we are currently one mare down. She's on holiday, so the show must go on. So the episode 3 title is The Influence of Influencers, and it's all about the influence of influencers. So what do you guys think? Do influencers have a positive or negative influence on the equestrian community?
Did you breathe the whole time?
Sorry for being a pro. Yeah, so what are you saying, positive or negative?
I think both in certain aspects. Like, I think it's good, especially some influencers that are promoting, like, actually what happens to horses. It's not all like rainbows and, like, pretty and all this here. Like, you know, happens.
Yeah.
But I do think maybe the negatives do outweigh the positives, though.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like a lot of influencers are responsible.
Yeah, they're
in
not
terms
thinking before they post.
of the content that they put out. There's a lot of influencers that I've seen, especially recently, of riding with no hat.
Oh.
And it's like the majority of your audience is probably under 15.
Yeah,
and
tweens.
Yeah, tweens.
Impressionable tweens.
And you're cantering and jumping with no hat.
But then again, I know you have to be responsible for the content you put out. I get that. But you can't control.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know,
you're not a parent, you know.
Yeah, like if someone's parent is letting them go and do that, that isn't your fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You remember what it is to be like that age? And like, well, for us it wasn't obviously equestrian influencers, it was like celebrities or something. If they were wearing something and you wanted to wear it and your mum's like, no, you're not getting it, like you go ask your dad.
Yeah.
Like you didn't care what your parents said,
No.
you wanted to do what like the people that you looked up to were also
like
doing.
makeup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
But
because
then-
we didn't have influencers at that point, but now that we're a bit older and kids are surrounded by influencers.
So influencers are their celebrities.
Yeah, they are.
But they're not as like well vetted as celebrities are.
Yeah.
Celebrities
Yeah.
have management
Media training.
teams and PR and media training. Influencers have none of that, but they've got probably a bigger reach and a bigger influence.
yeah,
Yeah.
Easier reach as well.
Yeah,
It's on
so
every
easy.
platform.
Yeah.
Every platform.
All you
And
need to
then-
do is just go viral a couple
Yeah.
of times, so it's not that easy. But you know what I
All
mean?
you have
though?
to do.
Yeah, that's why I've done it. Because it's so easy.
Some wannabe influencers.
No, but like the thing is as well, like, so you see a nice photo of someone online riding without a hat on, right? And I know you're just gonna want to copy, and then people are coming to me as a photographer and going like, I really want to get this shot, and I'm going, I can't tell you not to ride without a hat on. I can't tell you not, you know,
Yeah.
like you're paying me to recreate an image that you've seen an influencer create, and like where do you draw the
Yeah.
line? Like, it's not my place.
I guess that's
Yeah, you can't really
yeah.
step in, but you know it shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing as the influencers. Literally what you said is probably what influencers think. It's like, I'm an adult, I can consent to do what I want. I don't have to ride with a hat if I don't want to. And it's not my responsibility to teach kids how to ride either.
Because like
That
I
makes
could
sense.
get like I could have somebody on like the safest little pony in the world, right? And they want to jump on for 2 seconds with no hat on to get a photo. Or I could have somebody on like the hottest thing ever.
Yeah.
I'd be like, can I just like go for a gallop up the field, like have my hair like blown in the background?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
I'm like, I'm not first aid trained.
Pay me before you do it, please. Just
Sign
in
this
case.
waiver.
Sign here and here, please.
Did you sign the bank account?
There will.
Everything goes to Ellie.
Just before we continue, have you had any plans for the future?
Life insurance policy. Sign here.
I just go with a big folder. So there you go. Have a quick read. Yeah, like that's just. It's just finding out where to draw. Like, who's responsible for what?
Yeah.
Who is
Like,
responsible
should
for what?
parents take more control of what their kids are consuming, or should influencers be more aware of what they're posting?
But also, we aren't parents. I feel like
Yeah.
we don't really get a right to say because I was a sneaky wee.
Yeah.
Like, do you know?
Kids are sneaky, like, and you know, when you leave your kid at the yard, a lot of parents probably do.
Yeah.
Leave
I was a
your
riding
kids.
school slave.
Oh.
Yeah, so you were left for hours then?
Yeah.
Sure, riding school slave.
Yeah, but I was like, I did not have a good time. I was like one of those people that like had to like get reported for like bullying and all. Well, I didn't get reported, I had to report other people.
Yeah, you may say like influencers might take more responsibility for what they're posting,
Yeah.
but at the same time, the parents in yards have to take more responsibility when they have like under 16s or under 18s on their yard.
Well,
Then-
this is the thing, like you're saying, you're in riding school slave, like that is such a common thing.
Why did you?
Yeah.
There was no.
No, it was.
Okay, you're riding school slave. But like that is a thing, and those like yard owners or instructors, they don't care. They just want the jobs done. Whatever a teenager is willing to do, they don't care. So they're not gonna
Yeah.
police like, oh, I seen such and such influencer doing this, and I want to do it. Like they don't. It's just do whatever you want as long as you muck up my stable and do my hay nets.
Yeah.
Yeah, like feed my horse, muck out my horse, lead 47 lessons,
Yeah.
and then like turn out this horse is like a friggin' kite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, it was just.
So basically what we're saying is you can't expect those people who don't even care that they're literally doing child labour to
Yeah.
care about like the kids copying influencers. So
But
that's
then
never
again-
it's never gonna come from the those types of people, the
Yeah.
instructors or whatever.
But then again, when you see a yard these days, it doesn't have signs everywhere saying like you must wear a hat, like
Yeah,
no
exactly.
lunging here, or like you
Yeah.
know, like safety precautions. When do you go somewhere that you don't have to sign a waiver?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
do you know, like all things, like people are taking steps. Also, those yards want your insurance details up
Mhm.
front. If like whenever you're
Yeah, but this is a thing that kids don't care about. So if their parents are giving up insurance details or whatever, and a kid sees someone online riding with no hat, they're not gonna go, does mommy's insurance cover this? They're gonna go and do it.
avoid
yeah.
mommy's insurance.
Yeah, they're gonna go and do it, and then they're gonna fall off and die, and then
And then I think because trends
it can happen.
because trends cycle so fast,
Yeah.
they probably aren't going to sit and think of the consequences. They're like, this trend is popping off.
Yeah, I need to jump
Need
into
to
a
do
hat. I
it.
need to go viral. Like occurs.
Yeah, because
if
they're
mom's
copying their
insurance
favorite
gets-
influencers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think I knew what insurance was.
No,
No, I
still
still
don't.
don't. So things like riding with no hat as well, and then teaching horses to rear is another big thing. The kids see. It used to be a thing.
I seen it a lot when we were younger,
Yep.
watching YouTube. It was like, remember all the cool edits and stuff people were
Yeah.
doing?
Yes.
Like the cool like
Yeah.
little backgrounds and all.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And like remember you used to paint your horses and stuff, like from Spirit? They used to like
Yeah.
paint the horse. It was always then horses would rear.
And then these like safe children's ponies are being so long, and now they'd like
Yes, they've
rear
got
on
to rear
command,
them.
do
Yeah.
like backflips.
Yeah, so some wee kid who doesn't understand
Yeah.
backflips.
It's
Some
unbelievable.
some wee kid who doesn't understand that they're given that command because
Yeah.
they just don't know how to ride it.
Yeah.
I know my old pony, I taught to paw and clearly didn't do it right because anytime then she seen me, she pawed assuming that she would get a treat.
Yeah.
And like in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that bad. But
Yeah.
if you taught a horse to rear
Yeah,
and
just
that
like correctly.
command isn't taught
Yeah.
correctly,
Yeah.
It
then
just saw you and launched itself up.
yeah, like it can get dangerous very quickly.
And then influencers posting things like maybe not teaching their horse to rear, but their horse misbehaving and rears or
Yes.
misbehaves and bucks.
Yes,
and
'cause
the
that's
kids-
such a quick way
Yeah,
Yeah.
to grow your
Yeah.
content is by
Yeah.
posting unhappy,
naughty.
bad
Yeah.
horses,
Yeah.
and like it does well all the time.
Yep, and kids will just see the views go up and up from these people who
Yeah.
are posting the horses.
Rearing,
Like,
bucking,
yeah.
stopping, and they're like, oh, it's normal because this happens to my favorite influencer.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the welfare aspect of horses. I think from influencing has become so big, has went so low. Like there's some influencers that their horses don't look happy or really
Yeah.
look sore,
Yeah.
or they're displaying traits of like a sore horse or like a pain face.
Yes,
And
and
people-
then not addressing that,
Yeah.
and kids think, or not kids, well, whatever, even parents as well. People,
Yes.
just people in
Consumers
general.
of content.
Yeah, seeing that and thinking like, oh well, she's really good with her horse. She's an influencer, like
She cares for her horse because she speaks so lovingly about it.
yeah. So
But the
their
horse
horse does
is
that,
visible,
and mine
yeah.
does that too. So it's okay.
And then
Yeah.
these people are also going to think like, like why would I get this investigated if it's getting me views?
Views, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
that's the sad truth
Yeah.
of it. Like
Every
it's-
time I walk past my stable, that horse tries to bite me, but it's funny for the camera.
Yeah.
Like, no, like that's an unhappy horse.
Like
Yeah.
I'll not discipline it because I'll stick the phone up here.
yeah,
And
get
get a
something
video of
funny
it instead
that'll go
of-
viral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oral. Yeah.
That's actually really sad to think about. Like
Yeah.
using your sad or upset or painful horse
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah.
views.
But is that the influencers? Do they know they're doing that, or are they also uneducated? Because
A bit of both, I
Yeah.
think. Like I
I
think
think a
there's
Naivety, like not
Yeah.
yeah. admit it. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that, but then sometimes I also think like it started off as like, oh, you know, here's a video of me, my horse bucked me off and it was funny, right? Saying,
Mhm.
and then it started off, haha, we can all laugh, and then it happened again, haha, we can still laugh, and then it sort of morphed into my horse is in pain.
Yeah.
But I was sort of in the mindset of this. I'm obviously this hasn't happened. This is me obviously just speaking as like for talk's sake.
Yeah.
But like at some stage, you know, that's going to turn into my horse is bucking as a pain related response.
Mm-hmm.
But my brain might still be in the every time my horse bucks me off, I get loads of views.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
almost condition yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as that horse bucks, you're gonna go, sweet. I really hope someone got that video.
But you
Yeah.
see it yourself, like when you are scrolling down like your apps, and the first 5 seconds is, I had the worst show of my life, or
Yeah.
my horse bucked me off today, or you know, like I fell off today, and it's an attention grabber.
Yeah.
You sit and you watch,
Yeah.
and like that's how you gain traction on
Yeah.
apps. So
Yeah.
I have so one thing that I actually have a very strong opinion of is there was a certain organisation recently that said be careful what you post online.
yeah.
Because you know, like you need to be careful what you post, blah 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 blah. But why? Like if you're what are you
Yeah.
trying to hide? If you're doing something, if you're actively doing something, I think God I can't share that because I shouldn't be doing
Yes, I want to get hate for this, then you shouldn't be doing it
that.
anyway.
Yeah.
But I think what they were trying to say was, look, if you're got a show jumping around, you get a photo and you're pulling your horse's mouth, don't post it because it negatively impacts that organisation in a roundabout way, because horses are under like the spotlight.
Yeah.
But I completely on your point of view, like, you know,
What are you trying to hide?
why you're hiding something there, yeah.
Yeah, like what if you're so ashamed of doing it, then why are you doing it?
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that point.
But also there's an aspect if you're saying like say I got a bad photo in a show jumping around. Like like we do understand that horses are horses.
Yes, yeah.
Do you know, like some horses, I don't know, like say they coughed or something, so they put their head down
Yeah.
and their mouth is slightly open. Like okay, you get one bad millisecond of a photo
Yeah,
and
see,
everyone's like, oh my god.
I
like,
think
no.
that's different if it's one in an hour ride, fair
Yeah.
enough. But if like it's continuously happening every
Yeah.
ride, then I do think there is something more there.
Yeah, and then again, but also if that's being posted online, could you not argue that okay, maybe someone can pick up on this and someone can go, listen, you know, have you looked at your photos recently? Like this
Yeah.
seems to be a really regular occurrence that something looks uncomfortable, or you know.
Yeah, but then if that's just a random comment in your socials, would you listen to it?
Well, to
No,
be
you'd
fair,
be like blocked.
actually, I literally, I had a I was riding a horse one time and someone messaged me and was like, this horse is like so lame, and I was like, okay, the 3 vets that checked it didn't say that, and the
Yeah.
physio that checked it didn't say that, and the farrier that checked it didn't say that.
Yeah,
Like,
so I guess like if an influencer is getting called out in the comments, I think it depends maybe on like not the amount of comments, but like the volume of it. Like if it's happening often enough that it's on every post, they should be aware maybe of what the comments are saying.
yeah.
But
Yeah. And sometimes
Yeah.
the comments are trying to be helpful and people will go like, any hate will be blocked, like that's not
Yeah.
hate, girl, like there's something we can all see that maybe you can't.
Yeah.
because we're all in our little bubbles. Like
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
you don't want to see the bad. Like
Yeah.
that's just life and everything,
Definitely.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Whenever Benny comes in with an injury, I go, no.
You cannot see. But what you were saying about positives, I do think there is positives of influencing.
Mhm.
Like even in like the small scheme of things, like fun pole work, fun jumping exercises, products you mightn't have known ever existed. If someone
Yeah.
is having the same sort of problems that you're having and they're like, oh, like I never knew about hay gains.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I never knew you could get things like that, or like, you know, hay nets, small hole hay nets and things,
Yeah.
like really good in that sense of like promoting actual good products that you
Yeah,
know
but if
you would
they
never
do, though,
know.
if
Yes,
they do.
that's what
'Cause
that's
some
what I
of
was going to
them-
go into then.
And some of them might just be money grabs.
Yeah.
And I think we can tell because we're older.
But can kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can the younger ones tell? Are they just gonna?
Yeah, because I would find a lot of TikTok horsey influencers. I don't actually watch a lot. Usually the only influencers I watch is on YouTube because I find any on TikTok super childish. And I
Yeah.
just can't. Any that I've seen, there's probably some out there that are catered more towards our age, but the more childish that they are, their views seem to do better.
Yeah.
Me sitting here coming 27 this year, I'm not going to watch someone dumb their content down
Yeah.
Yeah.
to appeal to children. That's just not what I'm going to sit and watch.
Do you know what bothers me about the influencing on TikTok? I've seen it with a few of them. Is they promote Timu. And
Yeah.
that gets me, and I don't know why it annoys me so much, but they're like, you don't need to go to all the shops, blah blah blah. You can just go to Timu and get breeches and stirrups. And I'm like, but Timu, like, surely that shouldn't be promoted. Is Timu not known for being like the most dodgy,
ethical standards.
really
there that
bad
aren't met.
ethics. Like it's the
Yeah.
same like kind of thing as Sheen with the factories are crazy, and like it's so much waste is produced and junk is sold to people.
Fast fashion, like
Fast fashion
Yeah,
and fast like
overconsumption,
like
yeah.
even not even fashion, like everything on TV is like £2 and you're like, ah, sure, I'll add it to the basket, and you throw it in the
It's only
bin.
£2, yeah.
And then-
And breaks because it's £2.
Yeah, and then that's like, so these people are promoting it to, as you said, it's sort of
Yeah.
like to
So-
the younger audience.
But then again, there's an age limit or an age.
But is it not like 12 or 13? You're
I
dumb
know-
when you're no offense, you're not that smart when you're 12 or 13.
I feel like I don't know if there is a way to be stricter with age limits, but like I feel like it needs to be.
And then kids will also get a TikTok account right, managed by mum. It's not.
Yeah, but
Like Kim and North.
Yeah.
Kim and North says managed by Kim, and it's not.
But how does that even slide? Like who is up there going,
But then
says
again,
managed by mum? That's
Yeah, but
so...
who's also checking?
but
Yeah.
that needs to fall under parents' realm. Parents
Yeah.
need to be more aware
Yeah.
of what their kids are
like
doing
that?
on their
You
phones.
can't blame an
Yeah.
influencer for something
No,
if your child's
like
under
a
the age.
12, 13-year-old kid should not be sitting there with a smartphone if their parents aren't going to monitor what they're doing on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy, especially with all these algorithms, for you to like one thing that's like has a weird hashtag and then your whole feed is polluted,
Yeah.
and then they get like, that's dodgy.
Yeah.
Parents, I think influencers need to be more responsible in what they're posting in terms of like horsey content.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, a parent needs to be more aware of what they're buying and what their children are consuming.
Yeah.
Here's an aspect of it that I was thinking. So, because kids are now wanting to be influencers,
Yeah.
they're all recording stuff and all. But do you think that's a good thing in the way that they're like, I can't wait to get to the yard and try this new exercise out and get a video of it? Like, do you
No.
think it's promoting them to want to go and ride? Or do you think it's the opposite, where they don't care what the ride is actually like as long as they get that one perfect
I think
shot
there's an
or whatever?
aspect of both.
Yeah.
I think there's the aspect of like your horse will be well exercised, and if you're sharing content, you don't want to do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, you know, because you're like, oh god, but if I don't know, if I'm like seesawing my horse's mouth
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's on video, like,
Yeah.
you know, like you want to do the best for your animal if you're going to share that everywhere. If you know that, you know.
It's also a wee bit exploitive, maybe, like on the horse.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, I
Like
suppose.
you're just,
Like only riding just to get a video.
yeah. Like
Not
I
because
feel
you
like
want to like hang out.
not because you want to ride your horse. Like are you
Yeah.
only riding to get content for like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in case you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain,
Yeah.
but like that's how when you said that's kind of how I was feeling. It was like if you're only rushing up to ride because your favorite influencer done this exercise and you just want to be like tag them, be like follow me,
Yeah.
at me, like my stuff,
Yeah.
like. But then I guess the horse
Where
doesn't know.
No,
So
the horse
yeah.
doesn't know it's
You
on
know,
camera.
The horse
Yeah.
doesn't know, and also like it's different if you're being like, oh, like, you know, I'll throw the tack on, like I don't care what it is. For salad doesn't fit, but it's the closest thing to me. I'll throw it on because I just want to get down this grid. Or I haven't jumped in 6 months, but I saw an influencer jump at 110, so I'm just gonna fire down to it.
Yeah.
Like you could do that, or you could be like, oh, I saw an influencer who was bringing rehabbing a horse, and I did this
Yeah.
pull work exercise, and I thought that would be really beneficial for mine.
Yeah.
So I'm dying to get down.
Yeah, there's two
to
sides
benefit
to that.
him.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't really speak much positives there. Like we said one, and then Maggie reverted back to the negatives.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
that's maybe how we feel though, like on the
Think so.
inside.
But no,
Yeah.
I actually don't.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
we're
She really
seven
thinks she's like
rings.
16.
I am 16.
We're 17. We're not no 27-year-old teenagers. That's
Yeah.
how I feel.
No, I actually see it like it overall. I don't think, like, how do you even describe this? I don't think the influence of influencers is overall bad. Like, I think the
I
think-
enjoy watching YouTube videos. I enjoy seeing fun things that I otherwise wouldn't have seen. Like I said, products you don't know, exercises you don't know, things like that.
But
Like
then
I
again-
enjoy being a consumer of content.
Yeah.
I only follow accounts that are like see, like I don't like I'm aware enough to see someone if they're promoting loads of shit.
Yeah,
Go
block
unfollow them. You know,
Yeah.
like it's not that.
Yeah, but that's again back to we're older and we know these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why we're trying to sort of hate on them, because we're like we
know better.
know who is like that and who isn't. We can differentiate.
Yes, we can tell. Younger ones can't, and then they're just going to be like, "Oh, buy this brand of clothes because I really, really think they're the best ever, and use my code." But it actually all falls apart after one wash.
They just
Yeah.
want the code. Like they
Yeah.
just want the money from the
Yeah,
code.
they
Yeah.
just want to, or like TikTok shop, like, oh, you can use this for your horse. This is the best thing ever. I've ever tried it out. My horse is amazing.
TikTok shop grates me.
When they say it's like 600p.
Makes my blood boil.
Or
when
somebody's getting fired.
See when you're scrolling, and recently, look at these fantastic hay nets. Look at these massive hay nets. My God, every other video I get are those silly little clippers. These clippers are so good. Look, they glide through my horse's hair. I don't know.
And it's like getting so
really,
stuck.
really irks me because the hay nets holes literally a whole hoof you just get stuck in it. It goes
Seriously?
so big. They're like the holes are literally like this.
Hoof shaped.
So unsafe. But all my feed is people pushing TikTok shop.
Yeah.
I'm so not in touch with TikTok. Like I've never been on
Yeah.
TikTok shop ever.
Yeah.
It melts
And I
me.
never see anyone promoting it.
So I
Do you know?
don't know, but then the same thing watching YouTube and stuff. If someone has an ad, I'm skipping it. I'm sorry, I literally could not give one single shit about your deodorant that you're trying to your juice that you're trying to sell me. I don't care. I just want to see what exercise you're dropping today and I might want to do it. Like,
Yeah.
I just skip all their ads.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I suppose.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, that sounds good.
Alright, no. Just skip.
Yeah. See, I only would watch TikTok ones because I'm not really on Instagram that much. On YouTube, I'm too TikTok brain rot. I don't have the
See,
attention span for YouTube anymore.
I like YouTube for if I'm cleaning and stuff. I would put YouTube video on and like listen to it almost like as a podcast in the background.
Yeah.
TikTok, I would sit and scroll, but as I said, I don't really follow many influencers. Like, there's only one influencer that I would actually search her daily to watch her videos.
Me.
It is you, yeah. And she's American, and I would just watch her stuff. But like, there's not really many from here where we live that I would watch very often.
Yeah.
Or even England, Scotland, or anything like that. No,
Yeah.
it's only YouTube that I could follow people properly.
Yeah, well, see, to be fair, I'm a real Instagram girl. I said TikTok girl.
Yeah.
That was I don't know why you influenced me like that.
That's
The influence of influence.
No, I'm like so like TikTok. I'm like, if you delete it off my phone tomorrow, and I'm like,
Yeah,
say,
you
I
can.
would die.
Yeah, I would sooner delete Instagram.
Yeah, same.
no, I'm such an Instagram girl. Like, there's people I'm like, wonder what you're doing today. Like, I'm obsessed with Simon Grave.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
He's one of his clinics when he
I don't
comes
know
here.
what that is.
I would.
He's
what
a
that
vendor.
is?
He's like a 5-star vendor.
Oh, sorry.
He has a
don't know
YouTube
what that
channel
is.
and stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, he, as a person, I feel is an influencer that people should watch and look up to
Yeah.
because he's an educated person.
He's professional.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's any of his things that you watch, he's talking through his show jumping rounds and it's so educational, and he's like, I done this, my horse done this because I done this, so then I did that to correct it.
Yeah.
And it's like you're actively learning and not just watching someone fire down a grid and trying to get a pretty pick at the end. And then,
Yeah.
it's very
There
educational.
was a guy I used to watch. Do you remember the guy who used to be married to Kelly Croco from Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
Him, Carl or something, and he used to do those.
Carl Cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to do those videos, walking and talking, and I used to be obsessed with those. And he'd walk you through the whole show, jumping around and talk about it and all.
Yes.
I love those.
He does the helmet cams and cross country and stuff too, doesn't he?
I think so. I haven't
Yeah.
watched them in a while.
No.
But I
Things
used
like
to
that,
love them.
like educational content. I love nothing more than sitting watching like people talk through their rides or the exercise and why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Or this is how I cope with my horse. This is what I do. I love that, but I just feel content nowadays is just becoming like attention grabbing.
My horse bucked and I fell off, and then some stupid noise like whack.
Yeah,
Bomb.
and I just feel like that's just not.
That was a really
us.
good soundboard. I should get a new career, guys. I'm out of here.
But I just feel with our age range, that's just not.
Well, I feel like as
what
well,
I watch.
you could split influencers into categories.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like,
Like,
go
some
what other
categories.
categories? Actually, I'm intrigued by this.
Like, you have like your educational, like Simon Grave, like he's
Okay.
an educational professional.
Yeah.
Like, if you wanted, if you're like a show jumper or whatever, and you want to see how to improve your rounds, you go for something like that. There's the like natural horsemanship people.
Mm-hmm.
There's the, I had something else in my head and this one. There's the rehab people
Yeah.
who, honestly, me. There's always freaking something. Then you've got like the childish ones who will
Yeah.
dumb themselves down. They know their target audience. They can make money off these like twins,
Yeah.
and they're going to
Yeah.
promote whatever they can, like the fucking Temu, like whatever they can to get money off you and get a money off a brand deal. They're like, we'll do that.
So they're kind of
They're the problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the ones that are just trying to grab
The
money.
ones that know exactly what they're doing. They're exploiting the younger
Yeah.
generation.
Some
They're in
ones
it.
that Sorry.
They're in it for money, like yeah, they're in it for money, like they're not in it to educate people or like raise awareness for anything.
Whereas
Do
I
you
feel if
know?
you're influencing, you should be influencing because of something. Do you know, like
Yeah.
education as well. But nothing also makes my blood boil when an influencer is promoting something that has nothing to do with horses. Like there was an ad I seen on TikTok, and it was they were promoting like a game on their phone that made them money, but they were a horsey content creator, and I was like, that is a cash grab.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
100%.
you have just taken that because they've offered you a good sum of money.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with horses.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with what I feel like kids would find interesting. It would literally a gambling app on their phone that made you money.
Yeah.
But also,
It's like, you why like
devil's advocate, if someone
someone's offering you money.
if someone's gonna go like, if like say you're getting hit with vet bills and all sorts of
Yeah.
bills, and someone's gonna go, I'm gonna give you loads of money.
So
to
would
post a
you
10-second video.
drop your morals for money?
Jesus.
If you had a platform, would you drop your morals then? If someone was like, if someone emailed you to your business, or like if you've got like a company that helps manage you, and they emailed you your company and they were like, look, we'll offer her 4 figures if she does a minute ad on our product, and you know ethically that product isn't right, would you take it?
I think it would. Well, if you're saying ethically, you know it's not right, then no.
Yes, because it's like a gambling app, and your
If
audience
you're-
is primarily under the age of 15.
Yeah, if you know your audience, they're young and it's a gambling app, then you couldn't do it. Like you couldn't do
you
it.
shouldn't do it. Yeah.
But also, if you're saying that you say you know your audience is 18 plus, and it's a
Yes.
gambling app, then you'd be like, listen, this is a lot of money.
Yeah, because
But I
then
also-
18-year-olds legally can they? Is it or 21? Is it 18 they can legally
No,
gamble?
18 here.
Yeah, so
21
do you
America.
know what I mean? Like that's different.
But they can also, they have that in them to go, she's probably gonna offer a lot of money for this.
yeah.
Do you know?
they have that ability of like frontal lobe.
Yeah.
But no, it's like, oh, she's just trying to get her money straight, scroll on.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
gonna
You
go,
go-
oh my god, I
you
want to
go,
do
girl.
this.
Yeah.
And then, like, you can't hate on people for making money. Like,
Yeah.
And there was, if you're doing that constantly, if like every other video is just some random cash grab, that's a bit too far. I would see the odd one.
you can kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah, you can understand that.
I hate when you're like tapping through stories and it's like hashtag ad. There's like 15 stories up from the day, and like 13 of them are ads.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
oh my god,
But then
get your
again,
bag,
like,
sis. But at the same time, spread them out. Like,
Yeah. Put a selfie between God.
go outside in nature for 10 minutes.
You're going to say go outside naked? Sure.
Hashtag ad. No, but like, that's a game where you bring it back to, if you're saying you're like, in, what's the word I'm looking for, in moderation. That's where you bring in, who, like, if you're kids that can't differentiate,
yeah.
when I'm just trying to make a bit of cash here.
So I feel like our understanding, well, at least where I'm getting at, is that social media needs to monitor the age of people that are on their app better.
Yeah.
Like if we're
right,
not
yeah.
going to say it's an influencer's problem to be more aware of what they're posting, then it has to fall on someone's shoulders, be it the parent
Yeah.
or the apps.
Yeah.
My take on it basically is influencers do need to be conscious that their audience is young. Parents need to care more about what their kids
Yeah.
are watching, and apps need to take more of a
Stance.
stance.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that's
I
fine.
think
Like
they sum
everyone-
that up well, yeah.
Everyone has a part to play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they all have a
definitely.
little part to play, and if everybody plays their part,
Yeah.
everything will be sweet.
You
Yeah.
can't just blame influencers because, like
No.
you said, at the end of the day, they are trying to make a living out of it.
Yeah,
like they're
Yeah.
content
And you
creators.
can't blame them. Do you
Yeah,
know,
if
like,
we were in the position, we probably do it. I don't think I would
Yeah.
take unethical ads. I can't hold myself. I can say it now. 5 years time.
Tim
Oh, I
Roth.
can't wait to clip this when you do.
Rob was like, play Candy Crush.
Use
I bet 365.
use my code Robin for 5 free bets.
I would do that.
But you're over the age of 18, so it's okay.
Right, so now that you've heard our take on it all, let's move on to the experts arena. So we have JKP Equestrian, aka Jess, and she has kindly sent us some voice notes on her opinion on the influence of influencers. So she, in my opinion, is one of the OG influencers. She's
Yeah.
probably the first one I ever watched.
We watched her quite a lot growing up.
Yeah.
She currently has 76.9k
Pop off, Jess.
on Instagram, and I'm not sure about TikTok, but I think she's more of an Instagram girly. So
Hiya, firstly, thank you so much for inviting me to do this. I've not done a podcast before, so this is super exciting. So I am Jess, the face behind JKP Equestrian, and I have been posting my life with horses on Instagram since 2016. So 9 years this month actually, that I first made my Instagram account to start sharing my photos of my horses, because all of my friends told me that they were bored of seeing nothing but horses on my personal Instagram. So that is how it kind of came about. On to the first topic of how younger equestrians are affected by influencers. I think this is a really important topic, and definitely one that a lot of influencers need to be aware of. This younger generation is so impressionable, especially as social media is really important in their lives growing up, and they will often copy a lot of what they're seeing their favourite influencers do. I remember growing up watching YouTubers galloping along the beach without helmets on and thinking, wow, they look so cool, and wanting to do it yourself. And I think it's really important that kids realise the risk behind the sport as well. It's not just about getting views and making content and being TikTok famous. There is actually a safety element here where you could be risking your life to do something dangerous to post on TikTok. So I do think that there is a lot of responsibility on the shoulders of these influencers, particularly the adult influencers, to make sure that they are presenting themselves online in a safe way and ways that they would be happy knowing that someone copied. For instance, if you're making a hacking video, are you wearing your high vis? Are you following road safety? If you're going cross country, you should be wearing your body protector. Show these kids that actually none of us really want to wear our body protectors. We know they're uncomfortable, but show the kids that it's okay to wear them because they are so impressionable that they will copy that. Following on from that, I think the concept and idea of teaching your horse to rear, it was certainly a very common thing, particularly when I was kind of in my mid-late teens, that a lot of influencers were teaching their horses to rear, which I have absolutely no issue with people teaching their horses to rear as long as it's in a safe and controlled way. But there was certainly a spark of people and kids that were then teaching their ponies and horses to rear off the back of seeing their favourite influencers do it. And a lot of the time it wasn't safe. You could see the horse wasn't balanced, the cue was misled, and then these horses now have rearing problems because these kids haven't been taught how to teach rearing properly because they've just seen it online and they thought it was cool. So I think that's a real good example of how impressionable these kids are, that they have actually, some of them, taught their horses a vice because they thought it was cool. So I think that's potentially slightly controversial, but like I said, I don't have a problem with teaching your horse to rear, by all means, but let's make sure it's safe. I think I have felt some pressure to do this and make sure that I'm being sensible, but equally I've always found my content is pretty normal. I'm not trying to jump the highest jump. I'm not claiming that I'm any Charlotte Dujardin, if we're even allowed to say that anymore. Everything's been very normal, so I'm big on safety. I don't ride without a hat. I only jump when I've got people around me in case I fall off, So a lot of what I do isn't necessarily dangerous. So I have felt the pressure, but equally I'm aware that I am sensible, verging on boring potentially. But the good, it absolutely outweighs the bad for me in having my accounts and doing social media. I've made some fantastic friends, a lot of which I still see now. It's great being able to go to shows and chat to so many people that I've actually just met through Instagram. I love having my account and being able to look back through it all. If I was ever to lose my Instagram account, losing the followers would of course suck, but the biggest thing for me that would upset me is losing the 9 years of basically a diary that I've had of all of the horses that I've owned since starting my Instagram. So that's such a cool thing to be able to have and look back on, and I do often scroll back and watch memories and get reminded of things that I hadn't thought about in a while. Jumping back to the negatives of the influencing, and that's something that I've more so felt in these later years of having my account, is the idea of having to stay relevant. Although my following has still sort of maintained, my engagement levels have dropped off massively, and I do struggle to think of new types of content to produce that is actually interesting for people. I think when I was younger, obviously more happy to do stupid stuff and be silly and be a bit more exciting, and I also had a lot more time to put into filming videos and friends that wanted to film videos. So I think my content came more naturally back then, but now I'm struggling to kind of pick how I want my content to go. Like, a lot of what I'm doing now is just general day-to-day stuff, and here's me at the show, and then 4 days later I haven't posted, and here's a photo of me at the show, you know, here's my pony jumping at home. Like, I know it's a lot less exciting than it used to be, and that's kind of what I've struggled with the most currently, is just that maintaining the relevantness. And then you can't help but compare yourself to the current big influencers, the likes of Elphick Event Ponies and Esme, who are just absolutely killing it and doing so well. And it feels like every time their content comes out, the quality is just immaculate. Like, I can't help but be a little bit jealous that their content looks like it was filmed on a crystal clear camera, whereas mine is filmed on a broken iPhone 13 that can just about focus on my horse trotting around the ring. This is the sort of how influencing has progressed. People do want to see this more quality, fun, engaging content, and I think that, well, people like me that work full-time jobs just don't have time to be able to do that as well. And I appreciate that what I was doing back in the day is a lot more exciting than what I do now. My horse had a year out for injury, so I wasn't riding for ages, and there's only so much you can do when your horse is confined to box rest when you're trying to produce content. But yeah, I think that's definitely a big thing. I think you've got the emerging new accounts that are just doing it so well and really smashing it, and they're making such an impact. So there is, of course, definitely the pressure to keep up, but there's also a new generation of younger people that are now following accounts. I mean, I know a lot of the people that probably followed me when they were younger are at university, and probably adults now that first were there when I started on Instagram. Back in the day when I was on there was so few Instagram equestrian influencers, it just really wasn't a thing, and now I feel like they're popping up in every corner of the globe. It's incredible, and yeah, they're all producing such amazing content. I actually enjoy being a consumer now as much as I did being able to produce it, because everything just feels so informative and amazing now. So
a massive thank you to Jess for all of her voice notes. I think she pretty much agreed with us on everything, really.
Yeah.
The only thing we didn't really touch on was the impact on influencers themselves.
Yeah, it was interesting how she said, because she would classify herself as more of one of like the OG influencers, how she feels like her relevancy is sort of like dying off. And I wonder if it has anything to do with how quick content is. I know she was saying because obviously she's got a full-time job, you know, she finds it pretty hard to jump on trends as quickly. Yeah. And then because she's so paramount on safety too. Yeah. Maybe some of the trends she doesn't deem as safe to do.
Yeah. So basically her being a sensible, responsible influencer has not paid off in the long run.
And that's why we're the target audience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why we
enjoy her content. Yeah. We've been following her for
forever.
It must be a decade, like.
Yeah.
Well, she said 9 years, so it must be
her years.
She had Cody and Ren, I remember, was the two horses she had when I first followed her.
Yeah.
I think that's an aspect of it, that the kids that are wanting to be influencers don't actually take on as well about how difficult it actually could take a toll on their own sort of mental health, trying to keep up and trying to be the best at all times.
Would you almost like lose the love for it?
Yeah.
If you're under so much pressure to
constantly like scrolling to find out the next big trend, trying to become a trend.
Yeah.
Like that.
A lot of stress
on yourself.
Yeah, stress and pressure, and then just trying to keep up, and then as we said earlier, just going to the yard to try and get some content rather than actually going to enjoy your pony.
Why we all started.
Yeah.
We didn't start because we seen someone promoting horses, like as an influencer. We started because we loved horses. Like, do you think you would eventually lose that love?
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons, like, I didn't want to work with horses growing up. I wanted horses to be my, like, let down after work.
Yeah.
So it's like if your whole job revolves around your horse, and, you know, like Jess was saying, that when her main horse got injured, like, what can, you know, she's like, well, she has 2 horses, but, you know, like a one horse rider, you know,
it's really
if that's your business, that's your livelihood, and your horse gets injured, you know, that's a lot of stress on your shoulders, like, to try and pay your bills.
Like, I'm not, like, you know, I'm not Jess, but, like, even my engagements, even whenever, like, Benny was hurt, oh my god, I lost so many brand deals and everything. I lost so much, and I was like, what do you want me to do about it?
Yeah, she can't do anything, and then she's trying to, like, cater how exciting can you make content, like Jess said, if you're just your horse on box rest.
And also, like, I'm not putting his welfare over the sake of, like, an ad. Like, I'm sorry.
And that's why I think we can agree with what Jess said, like, safety is paramount.
Safety and the horse's welfare above everything, basically.
Above a click.
Educational influencers above money grabbers.
Thanks, Jess.
And now it's time for a quick ad break. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Copa Equestrian. Copa Equestrian are an equestrian clothing brand who aim to provide affordable equestrian clothing to girlies all over the UK and Ireland. They've got a wide colour range in their best-selling riding leggings, and some base layers and tees to go with it too. They're super practical and comfy, and not that I have a bias or anything, but they generally are the best ones I've ever had. Have a visit on the website and I'm sure you will see something you like, and your bank account will definitely like the price point too. www.copaequestrian.com, or you can follow all the socials at Copa Equestrian, and if you use code SASSYMIR at checkout, you'll get a little surprise discount.
Thank you very much to Copa Equestrian for sponsoring this episode.
I love you. So the final section for this podcast is going to be listeners take the reins. So we have a few games that we're going to play, but first Amy's going to introduce us with a stat.
Yes, so I have guessed the stats. So as we were talking about children wanting to be influencers and tweens and teens wanting to be influencers, there's been a massive increase over the past 2 years of children influencers. Can you guess how much of an increase, like how much percentages it went up by?
I don't know, because like I don't really consume content from child influencers. Like I don't even really do a lot of like horsey influencers anyway. But I do know a few names that have popped up. I'm gonna say like 50-55%.
It has to be big.
Think bigger.
See,
Well, it
I
has
was
to be
shocked
big.
by the stat. I thought
So
it
that
was-
makes me feel like if I make my lot like.
But I think
I actually thought before I looked up the stat that I thought it was going to be a lot lower because
Oh, okay.
But do you not think that child influencers went from like nothing to like everything?
I only know Harlow. That's the only one I know.
Well, see, she's all I know too, but I just feel like Harlow is everywhere.
But I think
No,
there has to be more.
There's a few actually, like I know from like the show jumping, like there's a few child influencers, and I mean like they're marketed to like the high heavens.
Well, I just think the way I've seen it is like Harlow's so big. I don't know any other ones, but there surely has to be if she's
Yeah.
that big.
It's because we don't
I'll
consume
say-
the content.
I'll
Probably
say
don't know.
76.
Okay. The increase was 150%.
And how many years?
2.
That is mental.
So our game we're going to do for this episode is Own, Ride, Compete. So basically I'm going to tell you 3 influencers with their horses, and I want you to tell me which one you would own, which one you would ride, and which one you would compete.
Okay, so I'm ready to search them up.
So we're going to do Meg Elphick with Jam,
Big Jam.
and then we're going to do Harlow with Panda,
Right.
and then we're going to do Holly Lenihan with Cal.
Okay, wait. Meg Elphick Jam.
Do you want me to go first? Give you a minute.
Yeah.
So, own Cal.
Okay.
He's bay.
Cal is
Bay Geldon.
He's bay and he's a gelding, and I'm all over it. Also, I just feel like, I don't know, he just seems like he doesn't cause any bother.
He seems like a chill boy, very well schooled.
Yeah, he's just living his life. He's not fucking wrecking the place.
Yeah.
He's just peaceful. And I'm
She's
chilling.
done a great job with him. Like he looks like he
Yeah.
would just have the best schooling session ever on that.
Yeah,
floor.
I just feel like I would just have a really, I would just enjoy it. It would just be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
I did, own Cal, ride. I think I would ride Panda because he is a little bit on the greener side, I think. And there's not like, that's sort of right up my street, to be fair. He looks lovely, but I want to try and get into eventing. So I feel like it would make sense to compete her.
To compete Jam.
Jam.
Yes, then you get like a taste of event.
Yeah, and I feel like I know she's like doing big jumps and that.
I feel like she can be a good teacher.
But like I would like go right back.
Yeah.
So we like teach the ropes to like the smaller events, and then for a bit of confidence building.
Yes,
Do
definitely.
you know what I mean? I feel like that would be the most sensible option for me.
Yeah.
That would be what I'd go for.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I looked like I was on my phone the whole time. I was, but it was for research purposes. So,
like Amy said, not big into the horsey influencers.
yeah, these are the YouTube ones, I guess. Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't really know a lot about these horses and ponies, so I'm going based on solely looks and the screenshots that I have. So I am a pony girl, and I love connies. I know they can be a bit hot and a bit, opinionated and stuff, but I just love connies so much. So I'm just going to own the connie, which is Panda.
They're both collies.
Which one's a connie?
Jam's a connie too.
Is Jam a connie? She
Yeah.
looks so giant though.
Yeah.
I assume she was going to be some kind of...
I think she's an overhyped connie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I thought
That's
she was
right.
going to be some kind of connie cross sport horse thing.
That's her there.
Okay. So how big is she then?
15
Yeah,
15
she is over height.
Connie.
Like.
Cool connie that can do cross country and stuff. Okay, never mind. I changed my answer. I'm going to own her, and then I'm going to ride. Okay, then I'll ride Harlow's connie. I'll ride Panda. Just because that looks like that'll just be for funsies. And then I want to compete the Cal, because he looks like what a guy.
Yeah,
Like
that's how I
he
would describe him.
just looks like a cool guy, and I think I'd actually, just from this based on this one photo, I feel like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I could just, he could
He's
teach
like
me.
he's like a little working hunter pony.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cute. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'll own Jam, I'll ride Panda, and I'll compete Cal. Okay, what about you?
Oh,
You get a go.
I think so. I probably would compete Cal because
that makes sense for you.
show jumping girl, and then I feel like he knows his job very well, so probably could take you up the heights. Maybe it's a bit of experience. And I think he just looks like he would have the best time riding him. He just looks so well skilled. Like you just sit there and be like. Relax.
Yeah.
And like the way he goes long and low, like he drags his wee nose and all in the sand, he gets like a wee sandy mustache. Like I just feel like that'd be so much fun. I would probably ride Panda, maybe. I think just small fun Connie sort of. It would be like being back at home.
Yeah.
And then I would own Jam. I just feel like she'd be civil, good fun.
Yeah.
Could like hype her up if you wanted to do something or
Yeah.
yeah. That would be mine, I think. So for our listeners, Stick the Ring section, we put a post on our Instagram, which is at the Sassy Mares Podcast, and we want you to let us know who you would rather own, ride, compete out of those influencers' horses. So thank you for watching and listening. I've been Robin, and you can find me at RH on Instagram and Robin Hartley on TikTok.
I'm Ellie, and you can find me on Ellie and Ralph 1 on Instagram and TikTok.
And I'm Amy, and I am Amy Copa on TikTok. And then the podcast is the Sassy Mares Podcast on Instagram and on TikTok. And of course YouTube and Spotify, but you're already there, so.
You've already found us.
So, thanks!
Bye! Thank you!